Yo, what's up guys? It's your man IDOIT Barber back with another haircut tutorial, and in this one we're gonna do about a mid or a high fade. Depends on your geographical location. You can be the judge, but we're gonna get into this. And yeah, so if you're new to the channel, smash the like button, subscribe, and press the notification bell to stay up to date when I drop videos like this. So now we're gonna knock his hair down to wavelength. Now of course this is 1.5 wavelength. It could be different, depends on who you're cutting, their hair texture and what they like. It could be a 1, it could be a 2, it could be a 1.5. I have a client that gets a wavelength of literally the masters with the lever open, and he still has waves, believe it or not. So we're just knocking it down, getting it even, and you want to use the same pressure, keep the blade in the same position so you can have the consistency. So as you can see here in this area in the parietal ridge, I like to go with the 1 and knock it down just so I could have the area a little bit lower, so it can save me a little bit of time once it comes time to blend that out. So now the lever is closed on my Envy with the wall fade blade. And by the way, links to all the products you see in this video will be linked in the description below for your leisure. And if you would like to shop Amazon, there's also a link to shop Amazon and help support the channel that way. So I like to create the bald line with this, then come underneath with the trimmer, then come underneath with the shaver. So it's like fading on a such smaller scale. And of course, we got to remove this because we're doing a bald fade and we want it to pop. We need the contrast. So this is the second level to this small level. And I'm using my Babyliss Silver FXs. Now, I know my longtime subscribers are gonna say, I do it, what the hell are you doing? You're using trimmers to bald out. I get it. I've been doing this lately. I have been the antichrist of balding out because I know I always tell you guys, use your 5-0 with the whatever attachment. But I've been using it lately, mainly because it's been saving me some time and cleanup of me using my 5-0. So yes, I get it. But you want to make sure this is all down even, especially before you use the shaver, because depending on the shaver you use, it may not get it down close. So as you see here, I'm just buffing this line out, flip the shaver, and you can see that line of demarcation that was created right there. And we're gonna get that out, of course, later. But I'm doing this because I've noticed with these trimmers, when you're using this position, it actually cuts closer than when it's flipped up on its back. So now we're just gonna get this down even closer with the shaver, because of course we're going for contrast with this fade. We're going for contrast, and you can see his complexion is light and his hair is dark and it's coarse. So you got to be very mindful when you're fading and really spend a lot of detail and making sure that bottom line is removed, because when people have stuff like this, it can be potentially hazardous to your wallet. So now we've got the wall fade blade, lever open, creating a 1-inch panel. We're gonna do this all the way across the head. Now you wanna make a couple different passes, I would say. I definitely would say the hair's not just gonna remove on the first pass. You wanna make multiple passes just to make sure that hair is even, especially before we start blending, because we don't want it to be long and then we go in and chunk a piece of hair out that was long that was intended to be shorter. So the lever is halfway, and we're just going up about 3/4 into that line, and we're just looking to make sure the bottom line is slowly disappearing, just dissolving, just magically, because you know, hey, we're good barbers, so you want to make sure this is just magically erasing. And you can see right here that front part is always easy, always. I don't know why. Please someone tell me, why is that little area easy to fade? Because you see in the back, it's much more, the line is much more pronounced than it is in the front there. That's why doing like high tapers sometimes on people is really easy. So and by the way, the lever is like almost closed because we put it in with the lever closed. So once we get down to the lever closed, like in some scenarios, this would have removed it. But with him, seeing how his hair is coarse, his complexion is light, his hair is dark, we got to go through the extra rigmarole of removing this bottom line and making sure that this blend at this portion is great, because you don't want to proceed until you finish this. You could if you wanted to, but I want to make your life easier. And as you see there, I'm just doing some touch-ups, went in a little bit higher into the fade. And as you can see, there's a little line there. And I'm just using my trimmers with the corner to buff that out. Now, I'm going to come back later and do more of that, because with his haircut, I've noticed you got to do a lot of detailing, because when the hair is dark, skin is light, you want to make sure the fade is perfect, because it's going to show every single problem and expose you for the scumbag you either are or aren't. So again, you see I'm using the corner, and you can see like as I angle the corner differently. So now I'm just going into the parietal ridge, and I'm reducing bulk through there because I'm just going to get myself ready for the blending process. So starting with the lever open, then I'll quickly close it, and then I'll come down to something else. So as you see here, lever's closed, because as you see, the area that I'm working in is a lot shorter. And I switch to the wall 1 guard, and I'll have the lever open on it. See, now I went back. And now you're going to start seeing that line that was created with the lever open. It's starting to slowly disappear. And it's sort of the same process that we did earlier with the initial guideline. We're doing the same thing. We're reducing bulk slowly and working towards this fade. And by the way, I should have used my Phat Masters for this. I should not have used the wall guard system. I learned from my mistake, guys, please. And if you want to see that video of me fading his hair with the with the Phat Master, in my humble opinion, his haircuts come out way better when I'm using the Phat Master. So if you want to see that, drop it in the comments below, and I will happily do it. However, we tried to do it, me and this guy, and the footage got erased just magically. They aired out. So maybe the universe doesn't want you to see this. Maybe the universe just wants me to struggle with this wall guard system. But it is what it is. So we're just keep working. We're just spot mopping and just hitting little dark areas and trying to make this fade come out nice. I got the wall guard. You see I stretched the skin, and I'm going different angles. Like on this side of his head, his hair grows straight down. On the other side, they grow straight forward, which is absolutely asinine. But that's just how some clients' hair is. You just got to know how to deal with these problems when you're presented with them. So now we're going to do some detail work. And as you see, that little front portion of his parietal ridge by his hairline is a little dark, mainly because his head kind of like curves there and creates a dark effect, which the remedy to that is do what I did, or just leave it darker through the whole parietal ridge and then just bring the fade down a little bit more, which when I'm fading with the Phat Master, that's actually how I maneuver and finesse his fade. So again, if you want to see that, let me know in the comments below. So again, wall half, and I'm just fading. I could tell how old this tutorial is because I have these blue gloves and I'm wearing the old smock. By the way, this was shot a while ago. So now I'm just coming in and I'm connecting the sides with the back. And this side, in the back of most people's hair, you got to make sure that it's spread out evenly, because the hair in the back is a lot more coarse and more dense a lot of times than the sides. So you want to make sure you spread the blends out. Sometimes people will leave the guideline a little bit wider in the back versus the sides to combat this. But this is just something that us as barbers, we know this. We know that we're going to be presented with this problem in most cases. And when you are, you act accordingly. Okay? Very simple. So now here, wall half, and I'm just, using the corners. His hair, I'm going to be honest, the wall guard, or the wall half, I should say, it works okay on his hair. I'm going to be honest. Not everyone the wall half works the greatest. I'm just going to be real. Got to keep it real with you. Okay? You see here, that little area, I see it, and now I'm going to attack it with the wall half. Now, again, should have used a Phat Master. Let's just be real. I should have used the damn Phat Master and stopped playing around, okay? Oh my gosh. The Phat Master would have made my life a lot easier in this haircut. And that's all I'm doing now is just detailing. I'm just looking at little areas that needed to be detailed. As you see, I'm just making sure that little area is nice and tidy, of course, because I'm just detailing as I go. Now, I don't recommend people do this if you're not experienced, if you don't know how your clippers are set up, if you don't know what to do, when and where, how. So as you see here, that's a dark area there that needs to be attacked. And of course, I'm acting accordingly. So when you're doing this stuff, you have to know the right tool to use at the right moment.
This is a
you see there that parietal ridge right there is just a little dark for my liking. So I'm gonna put the 1.5, and I'm just gonna start with the lever open and then work my way closed. Of course, safety first. Now here's the street sweeper, my Phat Master, a.k.a. the street sweeper, a.k.a. the Draco, a.k.a. the banana clip extendo. The Phat Master, anytime I have a problem with guards, I always go back to the Phat Master. If you guys don't know, if you're new to the channel, by the way, subscribe but if you don't know me, I fade with blades a lot. And the Phat Master is the perfect blend between adjustables and blades. You know, unlike the blades, which are fixed length, the Phat Master, you can adjust a lever and get those little tiny areas that the blades just won't get, where you got to kind of like use the corners with the blades. You can just adjust the lever slightly with a Phat Master, and it just knocks things out perfectly. So a lot of times the guards on certain people won't fade that well, but that's where the Phat Master picks up. And see, like right here, I'm detailing. I should have been using the Phat Master, but I don't know why my dumbass is using the wall half. You know, it is what it is. But learn from my mistakes, guys. And the haircut still comes out great. It's just me using the wall guard system. It slowed me down in this haircut, and it had me do a lot of unnecessary things. And these are the things you want to eliminate when you're trying to get better and faster at fading. You need to eliminate all mistakes, work efficiently. So now we're gonna knock down the hairline a little bit so we can make sure the hairline lasts a little bit longer. We can get a nice solid edge on it when we put the clippers to it, because we don't want to be going over the edge up too much. That's how you run the risk of potentially cutting someone, irritation, scarring them, pushing them back, you know, things like this. You don't want to do this. So I cut his hair every week, and you got to be mindful cutting people's hair every week, because you don't want to push their hair back, because if they're coming every week, they need consistency. They want the fade to look the same every single week, and that's what I deliver for this guy. So if you are taking too much off, because the edge up is taking hair off, you're gonna run the risk of him looking like George Jefferson after like 3 months, and you know you're gonna be in recovery mode with his edge up. We don't want that. We don't want to have to catch the fade in the barbershop or lose a client, you know, because this is gonna affect your wallet. So luckily with him coming in every week, typically like you would start in the middle, right? Or start with the box and then work your way in, that's a way that I work sometimes. But with him, I can start from one side and go to the other, because I cut his hair every week, and his edge up is not in like despair when he comes in, because I'm not crazy. So it's really easy. I can go start from left to right or right to left. It don't matter. His edge is going to look the same. And he has like a little indentation on the right side of his head right there. It's really more pronounced on that side, because I remember the first time he came in, I was like, he has a lump on his head or deformity, but that's clients, and that's real world barbering. So we're doing the razor, and I'm stretching the skin, keeping the blade as flat as possible. Don't want to go past 30 degrees with this blade, and just remove any stubble, because this is going to help his line pop. And of course, before you send anyone on their way, you want to make sure that you detail the fade. As if I didn't do enough detailing, but we got to do even more, because like I say, his complexion is light, his hair is dark and coarse. So we got to make sure that there are no bottom lines, no craziness that's left. We want to make sure this is nice. And it is, as you can see. I made it through the trenches of this haircut. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, if you found this helpful, if you learned anything, and don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button on your way out. I've got more tutorials coming, a lot of fun stuff for you guys. I know it's been a while. You guys have missed me. If you have, you know, you can leave some nice comments saying it's nice for you to be back. I thought you died. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm still here, guys. I'm still cutting hair. A holla.